Hey everybody, Angel Alerts here, and welcome to another episode of Let's Hang. This is one of my, I guess, newer series where I just get an opportunity to just get to know some of fellow YouTubers. And most of the YouTubers that I try to do Let's Hangs with are rising YouTubers that I personally have come to respect and have come to appreciate and feel that they could use that they are deserving of more attention. And so I'm very honored to hang out today with my new YouTube buddy, Jace. Jace, if you could say hi to everybody.
Hey everybody, how are you doing?
Um, and Jace, I wasn't sure if I stumbled onto your channel first or you stumbled into mine. I don't remember how we started communicating.
Huh.
Um,
I actually know exactly how I found you. It's like
okay,
I think it's like a beautiful love story almost. It's great how it
now you
happened.
have me curious.
So
You'll have to
I already
indulge
had
me.
this, I had this prepared. So what happened was, um, I tend to we're fellow gamers, so I tend to check out different gaming sites like GameSpot, IGN,
Sure.
PC World, whatever. So I was on IGN, and there was an article that was talking about The Last of Us. We can both,
Hmm.
great game. So
Yes, beautiful
basically,
game.
the article was about a YouTuber who brought the actual actress who played the voice actress for um, I'm brain farting for our main character. What's her name?
Ellie or
Ellie.
Joel?
Ellie.
Ellie,
Yes,
yes,
Ellie.
Ellie.
She was brought to tears from a YouTuber's reaction, and that happened to be
Ellen Page.
Kathleen.
Oh, Kathleen. Yes,
Yes,
Kathleenums. Yes.
it was Kathleen. I found her channel, and then I tend to, I don't know, channel hop or see like featured channels, and I saw you. You were right there at the
Aw.
top. So I was like, well, it's got to be good. If she's on this level and she's featuring him, it's got to be like, perfect. And then next thing you know, I saw all the work you put into your long let's plays and whatnots and the different things. I was like, done. Here we go. Perfect.
So you could probably say that Kathleenums was kind of my Let's Play wingman. She was sort of the
Exactly.
wingsman that brought the two of us together.
Yes. She set this up involuntarily. She had no idea.
That's really awesome. No, Kathleenums. Again, she's another YouTuber. My last Let's Hang episode was with
Hmm.
Kathleenums, and she and I have become very close. And I have no issue riding on her coattails because she is an amazing
Absolutely.
YouTuber. I have a lot of respect and love for her. I actually just did an unboxing video of something she sent me
That's
in
awesome.
the mail. Like literally, I just did that.
It's
So
like no spoilers, right?
no spoilers. I'm not going to tell you what it is because I'm
It's
not
never
really sure.
spoils.
I'm not really sure the order that I'm going to be posting these videos up. But
That's awesome.
in case you guys haven't seen that yet, I'm not going to tell you what it was, what she sent me. But it was awesome. All I'm
I'm
going to
looking
say.
forward to it.
But anyway, I don't wanna get sidetracked. As awesome as Kathleen is, I want to get to know you more, Jace. That's the whole
Yeah.
purposes of this, and I'm hoping to share you with some of my viewers, because I mean I don't necessarily expect my viewers to necessarily love or appreciate every single
Yeah.
YouTuber that I do, but it's just an opportunity for them to just see some of the people that I do appreciate, and maybe they might be curious. So Jace, I guess one of the things I wanted to ask you is, so you just started doing YouTube very recently, within the last how many months would you say?
I want to say I officially had the mindset to start it in probably last summer, and then it just kind of came into fruition in the fall. So I'd probably say around October, August, September, October, right around there.
What got you started? Like, was it another YouTuber that inspired you? Was it a friend who mentioned
Um,
that these things existed, and you were like, "Oh, that sounds interesting"? Or like, how? I guess how did you uh, get started and get the? It's one thing to tell yourself, "Okay, I want to do this." It's another thing
yeah.
to actually do it. So
Mhm.
what led you to that?
Um, that one's not too. That's actually kind of easy. What happened was basically I've always wanted to do it. It was always an issue of not knowing where to get started or how to do it financially, whatnot, because it requires effort, equipment, time, and those are things that can add up. And I always wanted to do it, and then got into Let's Play gaming through Markiplier. He was one of the first Let's
Mm-hmm.
Players I had ever seen, and it was really, really early. Obviously, he's grown exponentially since
Mm-hmm.
the beginning, but it was really early on. I mean, before Facecam, it was with Amnesia, and right when he first did Facecam, I was like, this is exactly what I want to be. I want to be something that's just kind of low key, quiet, general, and not because there are a bunch of Let's Players who are great. I can't be what I'm not. So when I generally do what I'm doing, I just want to be natural, and that was what I was drawn to, just being a natural gamer and
Yeah.
just having fun with it.
That actually is one of the things that got me to really appreciate you as a YouTuber. One of the things that I greatly gravitated to you towards was the fact that you seemed so natural and you just seemed like such a very genuine. I guess the best thing I could say is a genuine person,
I
very down to
appreciate that.
earth, and it's like I understand that there is a lot of appeal. I mean, the different YouTubers have different styles, especially
Yeah.
Let's Players. Some are a lot more like loud and in your
Mhm.
face and like very animated, and there's nothing wrong with that at all,
No.
because some viewers like that, and other viewers like
Mhm.
ones that are a little bit more laid back, a little bit more low key. I personally end up more into the low key-ish, laid back spectrum. Though I try to crack a joke every now and then, and I try to be a little more funny and a little more entertaining when it feels natural to do that.
Natural. Exactly.
And I guess I was going through because see, I do my homework before I do my before I interview
Oh
people.
yeah.
I do my homework, so I was actually going through some of your vlogs, and Jace, one of the things um, that really got to me was I believe one of the last things that you said in your last vlogs is that the reason why you're doing this is because you're just trying to find people that can relate to you and vice versa, people that you can relate with.
Mhm.
And for me as a viewer, not as a Let's Player, but as a viewer, the kind of Let's Players that I like watching are the people that I can develop some sort of meaningful connection with.
Mhm.
And it's harder for me personally to make that connection with people that who are YouTubers or Let's Players who present themselves in a way like they're on a stage, like
Yeah.
they have this character. There's this character that they're playing that they do this persona so that they can be a little bit more animated, a little more entertaining, a little bit more funny. And there's nothing wrong with that again,
No.
because it's working for them, a lot of people. But there's just something about people that are more genuine and real.
Mhm.
One of the YouTubers, not necessarily Let's Players, but well, he does happen to Let's Play a lot. One of the YouTubers that I really enjoy a lot is Tobuscus, for example.
Mhm.
Toby, he's awesome. He's very talented, and his I like the variety that his channel does because he doesn't just
Absolutely.
play games. He also sings. He also he does a lot of things. He does comedic stuff. But sometimes I feel like Toby plays a character like, "Hello, what's up, audience?" Like
Yeah.
he when he is on certain videos, he uses a character voice. Is the best way I
Mhm.
can describe it. And again, I'm not knocking Tabuscus at all because I love him, but he uses his character voice. But when I watch some of his vlogs and he talks normally,
Mhm.
that to me are my favorite videos of his because I feel like I am knowing more Toby the person as opposed to Tobuscus the YouTube character.
Oh yeah.
So those are the ones I appreciate more. So when I started watching your videos and I was just trying to get a feel for your style and what you were all about, I immediately connected to you right away and felt like this is the kind of person that I would naturally hang out with in if I knew this person in real life, not just through the YouTube screen. Um, and I'm like, there's something special about this guy, and he seems to be very humble, and he seems to be very respectful, and I think that there needs to be more YouTubers in general like that, because I think that some YouTubers feel that they can't be that way in order to become successful. So
Mhm.
I don't know if that was a conscious decision necessarily on your part to try to have some sort of to try to be more down to earth. I feel like you kind of said that in your explanation, but
Yeah. Like it's what happens is like with with growing channels, it's almost like a production line. There's a demand that has to be met, because if you don't meet the quota, then obviously you become static. But I don't know. My premise basically was always the idea of, even if I had one viewer, I could check the video today. It had one view. It's like, hopefully that one viewer was, maybe it made them smile, made them think about something, made them feel a little bit better. I mean, at the end of the day, that has to be the goal. When you're enjoying yourself, you want to spread the joy. You don't want it to just be held in. And I think my channel it's like a baby. It's just growing kind of over there in the corner. But I have the few viewers, and I've had some awesome comments come my way. And I actually had one comment that stuck out. It was I believe it was I don't know who it was, but he or she said, when I clicked and watched your video, I thought you had 50,000 plus subscribers, and I saw that you had 48, and I subscribed right off the bat, and I was like, well, I appreciate that, because that's the one person, that one day, that was the quota that was met, my quota, my individual quota, just to make somebody feel better. That's always the goal.
And I think that's very admirable. That's very admirable of you. The other thing that I really liked, Jace, about your channel, or just not your channel, but you as a person, really, that gravitated me towards you, is you've got a charm to yourself that is less about it's not just charisma, because I do consider you a fairly charismatic person.
Thank you.
But it's beyond that. Like, you have, like, you show, I'm going through your Facebook page, and you have all these pictures of your stuffed animals and your figurines, and you know, you were showing off in one of your, you were so proud and showing off your toothless bank, coin bank. And again, if you guys haven't visited Jace's channel, he just created recently a trailer, I guess an intro to his channel, which I thought was so well done.
Oh, thank you.
It looked professional, at least for me. I don't think I could do anything nearly that quality of a trailer. It looked very well. The attention to detail of it, from you know, it looks like you going through your day and setting yourself up to do a YouTube, and I love the shot of you looking out the window, and then your clothes start changing. Anyway, I don't want to give away too much, but you guys need to see it. And then you're just not afraid to be you. That's what I like about you. You're not afraid to be yourself. You're not afraid to show off maybe some of your quirky side, show off your stuffed animals, show off your figurines, and own it and be proud of it.
Yeah.
That to me is something that I personally admire from you, and why, you know, I thought there's something about this guy, and he's got so much potential, and I hope you continue doing, even though you might not have thousands of subscribers right now. I hope that you continue doing what you're doing and feel encouraged by this, because I definitely am becoming very appreciative of your style and your approach and your attitude, all around attitude of YouTubing, Let's Playing.
Oh, well, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate that so much. I mean, how can I top that? It's like, oh, well.
Well, I think I was gonna say, I think your little mini Iron Man.
Oh my goodness, well. Isn't it awesome?
It's so cool.
Before I jump into the Iron Man, all credit for the trailer has to go towards my wife. She's like super good at editing, and I'm like, I have an idea. Let's do this. And I'll do this, and then you can record that, and she'll be like, okay, and I'm like, it's gonna be great, and then it comes down to editing and whatnot. But that was a lot of fun. Making the trailer was a lot of fun. The whole purpose of it was just to paint a story without me saying, I work a job. You know, I pay my bills, I go to work, and I live a life, and I come home and I enjoy myself and I try to play games. But no, I wanted to convey a cute, quirky story. I thought it was fun. And then the Iron Man, I noticed that in a lot of my videos, he's always there. He's just always there. And it's funny because you might not know this. You might actually. I'm in the military, so I work a basic Monday to Friday job. And the Christmas before I left for basic training, terrible, terrifying, was I received this, and I had no idea what it was. I didn't know what it did. It's for my sister, and then I realized it's like a headphone cord buddy. And then she was like, my sister was like, well, you have to put it on and then pay credit to me when you become rich and famous. And I was like, well, that's not the goal at all, to become famous. But I'll definitely
Maybe rich.
maybe rich. I won't complain about that. But he's awesome. He's always there. It's like my little buddy. So if I'm not talking to my viewers, I'm talking to a mini Iron Man over here.
No, but it's just little things like that I think defines you as a person.
Thank you.
And I love that. So kudos to you, sir.
I appreciate it. Thank you. And don't worry, I didn't come alone to this. I had a friend right here that I was actually gonna introduce to you because I was like, maybe Hark will appreciate this. So I saw this at Walmart.
Okay.
So you remember how I had Toothless, right? And I was so stoked about Toothless.
Love Toothless. Mm-hmm.
Well, I journeyed into the depths of Walmart, that terrifying store, and then I saw this little guy. And I immediately thought to myself, well, I know somebody who would appreciate this. It'd be awesome. Obviously, he's a coin jar.
He's
but
also a coin jar.
Any change in him. He just hangs out. He's just there for
Oh, that's so cute.
I like that.
I love that.
The polish, the shine.
Yes. Oh.
So I made sure I brought him.
Thank you. Oh no, I definitely appreciate. Yeah, all my viewers, I definitely appreciate that. Some of my viewers were asking me what happened to all of the Pikachu because I changed rooms. I switched rooms, and my Pikachu are actually still on top of my dresser. It's just the way that I arranged my room. Like I couldn't put my dresser right over there. So unfortunately, I'm actually looking at my Pikachu right now. They're still up there. And I'm hoping that when I finally move in with my future husband, I'm hoping that I'll be able to set up my desk in such a way that I can put the Pikachu in view too, because people were missing them.
They love the Pikachu. You gotta bring up the Pikachu.
It's I think it defines me as a person too. Even though a lot of my friends, whenever I like play Hearthstone. Some of my friends, we play Hearthstone every week, and through live, we have the webcams up, and they like to make fun of me with all the Pikachu on my dresser. But I don't care. I own it. I was like, whatever. I'm into it, and it's they know, and they're just teasing, just in good fun. So, but Jace. So I guess my some more general questions. So what kind of games do you personally like to play, and is it different? Well, let's start with that. What are the kinds of games that you personally like to play, and are there certain types of games that you decide to let's play, like certain genres of games that you decide to let's play, and others that you'd rather not record yourself playing for whatever reason? So that's my question to you.
That's always the dilemma. That's a really tough one, because when you do a Let's Play, you're sharing your playing experience with essentially the world. And when it comes down to it, I want to say I lean more towards action, sci-fi, RPG, especially RPG. But that's where the dilemma lies, because it can be very difficult to want to record yourself when you're so invested in the game. I'll have plenty of moments where I'll catch myself doing a recording and I will have said nothing because I'm in the zone, and I'm like, well, I'll have to stop this footage, redo this. 10 minutes went by of me just in my zone, and that's the tough part. So I noticed a lot of people, I've actually had a couple of people message me about my channel. A lot of the games that I've started, I haven't been able to finish them. The big issue with that is, I don't know if you're familiar with that, but like I try to do console games as well, but it can be extremely difficult to set up the recordings with it, because I actually have the Elgato and I have it set up to my systems, but when you're putting the audio with it and then you try to add face cam, it's tough, and I lose a lot of footage, and I tend to lose most of it. So I'm trying to figure out how to get my console gaming back into the channel, but right now it's mostly been the PC games, and right now the big focus is obviously Life is Strange. That's it right now. And besides that, I did have a request from, I actually had a personal message. Someone requested that I mentioned it, that I want to do Xenoblade Chronicles. It's you might be familiar with that. It's a JRPG that came out for the Wii, because people are excited for the new one coming out this year. So I had someone ask me if I could play that, but I was like, console games are so difficult to record and do
Yeah.
it right. So hopefully I can make that happen though.
That's good, and if you can, more power to you because I um, almost exclusively only do PC games
Mhm.
because recording with console games is a pain in the butt. Like I have two, maybe three. I think I have three Let's Plays with a console game, and
Yep.
those are, like you said, I lose my capture card. It's great when it works, but when it doesn't, I lose so much stuff, and
Yeah.
it's very frustrating, and it ends up not being any fun.
Exactly.
Honestly.
That's the dilemma. It takes
Yeah,
away the
that's the
fun.
dilemma.
Hmm.
So the unfortunate, well, I guess it's not really unfortunate, but the unfortunate thing is I have to, as much as possible, limit myself to PCs. And
Hmm.
then if there is a console exclusive, then it better darn be such an awesome enough game that I'm willing to go through the pain of fighting with my capture card. So
Exactly. Like a week from now, right? The
like a
Order
week from
1886.
I've heard that yes, that game's coming out. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to touch it anytime soon, but
Yeah.
yes,
That's one of those
there's
console exclusives that I'm like, oh, I really want to play it and I
yeah,
really want to record it, but I don't want to make the game unenjoyable. I don't want to lose the footage. So it might
gotcha,
be I might end up doing I might end up just playing it and enjoying it and not
right.
and maybe update people through my Facebook page to let them know how it is. But I don't know. Console games are scary. Scary world.
Yeah. So I wasn't sure if you fully explained that the types of games that you do try to let's play
Hmm.
are the RPGs.
Yeah, I'll typically lean towards RPGs. It seems to be the focus right now. I actually have a horror game collection I'm slowly implementing, but um, I think Riss Graystar, he put it
Oh,
perfectly. I don't want
Riz.
to force anything. And when I'm playing a lot of his Let's Plays, for example, when he's playing horror games, you can't make yourself scared. It has to happen naturally.
Yeah.
But that's the problem with like the I want to say horror titles in general because when people are viewing them, they're expecting certain reactions out of you, and if you're just I have my scared moments, but I don't come out like you're not going to know I'm terrified unless I say I'm terrified. So I want
Yeah.
to start adding those to the channel itself, but I had some good reactions from my Five Nights at Freddy's. I had never even touched that game. Jump scares and me, no, we're not friends at all. But
Gotcha.
yeah, I'm gonna say I lean more towards RPGs, especially if it's sci-fi related. I love sci-fi. I'm like a huge nerd about that.
What are some of your favorite RPGs?
The favorites, that's easy. So, way back when, like way back when, Star Wars, Knights of the Old
Yes.
Republic,
Yes, I was gonna
that
say
was
yes.
that was definitely
Mm-hmm.
one of them.
My very first BioWare game. Yes.
Yes, awesome. See,
Yes.
we
Mm-hmm.
got this. The
Yeah,
very
we got
first
it.
one.
You and me, Jace.
Knights of the Old Republic, that one set it off because
Mm-hmm.
I had never seen such an in-depth RPG before. Of course, I had
Yes.
delved in Final Fantasy. I mean, I think Final Fantasy VII was actually the first game I ever even played,
Mm-hmm.
like RPG
A
wise.
lot
But
of
then
people, that's true. Yeah.
when I checked out Star Wars: Knights of the Republic, I had no idea what it was about. I just knew
Mm.
I didn't even know what Bioware was. I
Yeah.
want to say I was still a teenager. I had no idea. Maybe I was even younger than that. But
Mm-hmm.
I picked that game up and I played it, and I just didn't stop. You
Yeah.
just cruised right through that, and it was amazing. Story,
Yeah.
gameplay, that was like the next gen of the time.
Yeah.
So that's the number one.
I had a very similar experience because I was introduced to formal role playing games. For me, it was Final Fantasy VI slash Final
Hmm.
Fantasy III for the Super Nintendo,
Yes.
and that's what really started my craving for role playing games. I had played other RPGs. I played like Secret of Mana, which is
Yeah.
kind of an RPG, but it's
Hmm.
it's more of an action RPG, adventure RPG,
Yeah.
more like Zelda and Link plus RPG elements. But then I played Final Fantasy III and fell in love with the JRPGs and just the
Hmm.
RPGs in general. And then a lot of people are gonna hate me when I say this, but I'm not a Star Wars fan per se. I like Star Wars, but
Hmm.
I'm not as like hardcore about Star Wars as many other people are. And so one of my friends recommended that I play Knights of the Old Republic, and I was like, well, I'm not really that big of a Star Wars fan. I mean, I watched the movies, and the movies were fine. But says, no, you need to play this. You need to play this, Hark. You will love this. And I was a little skeptical. And again, I had not heard of BioWare before. I had not been introduced to BioWare. And so I gave it a try. And then after the first hour, I was hooked. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so good.
Yes.
And it was just another level of storytelling. Just the fact that you could... I think the fact that I could make a character that was like me and I could make decisions as someone like me, and then not only that, but actually forge relationships with other characters, and possibly even romance other characters. And then I found out that since I couldn't romance Carthonasi, I re-rolled a female and played a female, and that was my main character. I think what really sold me was the big plot twist, which I'm not going to reveal, but you know what I'm talking about. The huge plot twist for me came out of left field. I didn't see that coming at all.
It certainly did.
Yes. And I think why that was so groundbreaking for me is because before that, I had never really thought that video games could tell such a cinematic story that rivaled a movie. Never thought that would happen. And so when that plot twist occurred, I was like, my mouth agape. As I was collecting my jaw from the floor, I was like, oh my gosh, did this video game just do that? Like, this is just like a movie. Like, the whole concept was so foreign and new to me. And now I kind of expect that out of the RPGs that I purchase, because those are the kind of games I gravitate towards, is games with stories. And that's how I at least got into RPG story-wise. So we have very similar experience.
They set the bar high after that. I think they set a standard for RPG gaming. BioWare came out strong, and then I don't think RPG gaming has slowed down since. I really feel like it picked up the pace for RPG gaming here in America, because before that, it was Final Fantasy, and that was really the go-to RPG. Unless you were, I mean, there was like the Tales series and some of the smaller RPGs that didn't get very much attention. But yeah, when BioWare came out with that, they set a huge standard. So.
And not only that, I like how the trend is kind of shifting. The types of RPGs are shifting more, especially with what's been going on with point and clicks, like Telltale, for example. Because point and clicks. If you were a 90s kid, like some of you might remember the point and clicks from way back when.
90s.
Yeah, exactly. And it seemed like by the time they hit the year 2000, especially after the mid 2005 and beyond, point and clicks were becoming a dying breed. Like people just didn't play them anymore. And then all of a sudden, here comes Telltale. And they've actually been around for years, even prior to The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead was sort of like the thing that
the caveat.
It would led them to become more of a household name, at least amongst gamers. But they had been doing other point and clicks before that, and so it's just really interesting how that genre, that format of RPGs are coming back, and they've refined it since the ones in the 90s. And I'm just curious how that trend is going to continue on in video games in general.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point. When Telltale Games brought out The Walking Dead, well, first off, they chose a perfect title because of the popularity with the AMC's The Walking Dead. So they already set a good example with, it's a great show. We had to set the bar high. And then I think the thing about The Walking Dead's game was the fact that you really felt like player choice mattered, and every episode would end with the reminder of the choices you made. You really were curious to see how it would play out into the next episode, and what happened was basically you got more story out of that than a lot of the games at that time. It was because we hit that dead point where all the publishers and developers were fighting each other, getting ready for the next gen releases, and here comes Telltale Games. They're like, well, we have this, and it's episodic based, and you can buy it for $5, and next thing you know, They
Yeah.
used Steam and it took off. It's huge now.
Yeah. There's just a lot, and they're being very successful with other
Hmm.
IPs since then. As of this recording, they have said that they're working on a original IP right
Yeah,
now, which I think is cool. And
that is awesome.
I've mentioned this in my live streams because I've been live streaming a lot of the Telltale games recently. Is that somehow Telltale has a way of doing a game based on a franchise that I might not necessarily be a follower of. Because
Hmm.
I didn't follow Game of Thrones. I didn't play Tales of Borderlands. I didn't play Borderlands. So I wouldn't call myself. I wouldn't call myself, a fan of Borderlands.
Hmm.
But I
Yeah.
probably would have played it if I could do first person shooters without getting nauseous after like 5 minutes. But they had this way. I tried playing the games and I love them, even though
Yeah.
this was a franchise that I didn't particularly care for as much.
Hmm.
It's again subjective opinion, completely subjective
Oh yeah.
opinion, but through the Telltale games, I was able to become a fan of these franchises at least through that window, and
Hmm.
now they're coming out with Minecraft, which again is a game I don't really particularly care for. I
Yeah.
played it, but it didn't keep me engaged. I was done after 15 minutes. But I'm going to play it because it's a Telltale game, and they
That's
so
right.
far have done a great job. And it's not just Telltale. I don't want to just keep giving accolades to Telltale because there have been other people coming out of the woodwork with point and click style games, like you said, Life is Strange,
Hmm.
and yeah, there's been others as well. Because I played another one earlier, Broken Age. Broken Age was another one that has been, I think, very successful. So
Yep. Yeah. So the point and click genre, it's funny because when you say the point and click genre, it's almost like I almost feel like a gamer would be like, I don't know what that is. And then you have to remind them, well, it's like The Walking Dead. It's like, oh, that is a point and click game. The point and click games that I was used to playing were on the desktop, the big
hmm
white computer, and it was like, click this and find the puzzle, find the piece in there, and
yeah.
that's point and click to me. And yeah, it's funny how they can take something that was considered very old, very past-like, and
Yeah,
put a fresh take on it. Yeah.
I think what helps a lot that made it more accessible to people is that it became less about the trial and error of, oh, you need to find you can pass this spot, but you have to go find this object at this other room, and
Hmm.
then you have to know to use that object in this way to unlock this door or to get
Hmm.
past this obstacle. There are puzzles in a lot of point and clicks, but the focus is not so much on the puzzles. It is more on the storytelling,
Yep.
which I think helps a lot because not everybody has the patience for, you know, finding whatever this random object is, however many rooms away, and
Hmm.
then knowing that they need to. Because again, it's a lot of trial and error. And yeah, I think that genre is hopefully going to improve from here.
Yeah, I agree. I totally hope it improves. They've said like the point and click genre is taking off, and I'm looking forward to seeing different publishers putting out something new because it kind of reminds you of it's not necessarily a point and click game, but smaller releases like Journey and like
Journey.
Limbo, these
Mm-hmm.
new IPs when they come out, that's really what gamers need right now. Because if I don't know if you check like right now the gaming news, like the focus this week has been, oh, DLC this, DLC that. All DLC is ruining games, and that's a scary precedence when gaming is slowly becoming all about DLC and forking out more money.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope these new publishers and developers bring us some more stuff because I'm loving it. Everything that they do, all these new things, they're awesome.
Cool. So Jace, let me ask you what with your channel, what are some of the things that uh, you are hoping to be able to do with your channel, or what are some of the, I guess, ideas that you have for your channel?
So my the big dream right now is to First off, the collaboration with Hark. That's the one game. That's one. This
I don't
almost
know.
counts.
I heard he's not really that great to work with.
I don't know.
I'm
I'm
not sure.
pretty sure he's awesome. This almost counts, so it's
Okay.
like a 50-50. But like you said, kind of like with your Let's Hang series, I want to implement something of the sort like a Let's Play just with anyone on YouTube, because I see so many. There's millions of channels with a few subscribers that they actually put out content, and I feel like a lot of YouTubers, or just label them as that in general, I feel like they want to be involved with each other. I feel like it's so self-centric when it comes to a channel. It's like, this is my channel and my content. I want to reach out and get other YouTube channels to let's do stuff together. Why don't, it's
Right.
that way. It's not a popularity contest. It's not a who can get more subscribers than who, because as it stands now, the way the YouTube trend has gone, what can we call them? The people who have the high subscriber counts, they're never going to go down. That's just it's not like one day, PewDiePie's subscription count's going to go to zero. It's never going to happen. So the new YouTubers who are starting to join, I really want them to reach out to other channels that are growing and do stuff together. I think that's the way it needs to be, because if it's all about just doing it yourself, how can you have any fun out of that? It's like a work down. You're just working.
Yes. I'm glad you brought that up, because I forgot to mention that was another thing about your channel and your attitude and your style that I liked a lot, is that you do take time to reach out to other people, and you do try to collaborate. And I don't feel like you're doing it so that it so that your ulterior motive is, oh, that'll get me more subscribers because now we're sharing subscribers because we're working with each other. I think I believe you when you're saying it's more of a just to have that more community feel. And I share that mentality with you too, because when I had started working on YouTube stuff for the first year and a half or so, I started doing I started meeting some really cool people like Selbzader Carson and Lucky Jack 20 and eventually Reclusiarch and Shali, who are YouTubers that I watched, that I was fans of, and started doing coordinating collaborative stuff with them. Ended up doing stuff with Earthbound with a whole massive amount of people, including YouTubers. Started doing an RPG campaign with several YouTubers, and then just starting to do this Let's Hang, because I'm a very social butterfly. I don't know if you noticed.
I hadn't noticed at all.
And I don't know. I just like a sense of community, and not just not like you said, not just having this whole island where it's just me, myself, and I. And I wanted to be able to try to do more things with other people and collaborate with other YouTubers, and not only with other YouTubers, but my New Year's resolution for 2015 was to try to come up with more opportunities to engage with viewers more directly, so I can again form that more connection. Which is why for example, I started opening up my next Mass Effect RPG campaign to other viewers, which is exciting. Which I'm actually having, as of this recording, I'm actually doing my session 0 with both my main squad and the Bravo squad of the campaign.
Squad. That was so cool when you did that. Let me just add that in there. That was so cool.
I'm excited because of the story that I'm writing, it works and it makes sense.
I'm excited.
Once you figure out what's going on, like what the premise of the story is, I think you'll get it, and you'll be like, okay, now I see what Angel Lars was trying to do with this whole Alpha, like main squad and Bravo squad thing. It especially once the Bravo squad have their first session, you'll be like, okay, that's how that works. So
that's just your personality. Like, I know I can't even talk about myself. I don't really know what to say about myself. It's easier to talk about someone else. But when I watched your finalist announcement, I was like, yes, this is exciting. Let's see what we got. And then you had, your main squad, and you had your Bravo squad, and then you had your shout out to. I thought it was awesome because
thank you.
These are viewers who are looking up to you. You've garnered attention, and you are trying. You just have the personality where you're trying to make sure you can take care of as many people as possible. You don't want anyone to feel left out, and that's the way it should be. I feel like a lot of the bigger channels, it's not even necessarily their fault. They're almost like, it's like marketing. They're stuck in this, well, I have to do this because
Mm-hmm.
it's the channel. It's what the channel is. That's the best thing about you is that you made sure that that one video alone is a good example. You should like
I appreciate that.
that is basically you said I want to try to reach out to everybody, and if you're gonna give me your time, I'm gonna give I'm gonna give it right back to you. And that was the coolest part. I was like, yes, so awesome.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Jace. That's
Absolutely.
very sweet of you.
I wish I could have gotten involved sooner. And I was like, oh man, I got in way too late. But you had some awesome finalists. I don't know how you
Yeah.
picked it. I don't know how it came down to it, but some close calls. There were some cool people, and
Very cool people.
those are the channels that I'm talking about. Like those are
Right.
people who might want to start a YouTube channel who just don't know that
Yeah.
they can do it. And it's like
Exactly. Give
you
them the
give them the inspiration, give them that small step, and then who knows, you might make the next great famous celebrity one day. Who knows? It's pretty
who
cool.
knows. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. So my next question, Jace, is what are some of the challenges, I guess, that you've been having, if you don't mind sharing them,
Oh,
some
yeah,
of the
no
challenges
problem.
you've been having as a first-time YouTuber,
Um,
and go ahead, answer that question first.
I'm sorry. So basically, I think the biggest hurdle is it's not even recording content. It's not editing content. It's none of that. You wanna. It's like if I had the chance, I would just play games that I like, and I'm just gonna do that way. But it's not necessarily going to garner any attention because you could go on here and play. I would love to play old stuff. Like I would love to play Final Fantasy 3 or Earthbound, but if it's not relevant, it's almost like you're forcing yourself into a corner. It's like then you're uploading it just for yourself, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you have, like I said, if you have 5 subscribers, those are 2 individuals who want to see what you do no matter what, which is awesome. But the biggest problem is you want to stay fresh, and it almost feels like you're getting forced. It's like, oh well, what just came out, for example, well, Life is Strange. Well, I have to play Life is Strange. It almost feels like you have to. Thankfully, Life is Strange, I wanted to play anyway, so it's like, nope, I want to check this game out anyways. So, but the biggest dilemma is making sure your channel stays, I guess, fresh. You want to make sure you're staying fresh, but at the same time, don't ever let yourself become, oh, I have to be relevant. I have to do what the viewers want, because then the channel is no longer about you. It's about subscribers and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest hurdle right now.
I believe wholeheartedly that ultimately you have to play the games that you're interested in playing.
Mhm.
Number one, because like I think that you're not really doing anyone a favor if you are playing a game that you may not particularly care for, but this is a popular game and it's
Yeah.
a hot game right now, and people will want to watch me and possibly subscribe and like my videos because it's a game that everybody else is playing. And
Yep.
I definitely do not encourage that at all. Although I do know that a lot of YouTubers do that.
Yeah.
At the same time, I know that as a YouTuber, you want to provide content that entertains people.
Mhm.
You want to provide content that your viewers are interested in. And there's just that balance between playing what you want to play, and also if your goal, number one, your goal should be whatever you're doing, you need to enjoy it.
Mhm.
So if you're able to play what you want to play and provide entertainment, or make your viewers smile, or whatever it is that your goal is to your viewers, that's that balance that has to happen. Because I personally would love to play. I would play Final Fantasy 3, and I am
yeah.
playing Earthbound right now. I'm just making, but
Yes.
the thing is with Earthbound, I'm making it fresh. Like I'm doing a
Yes.
fresh twist to it. So, if Earthbound ever finishes, because we're trying to get everything done. There's just a lot of people have been getting sick, unfortunately, and
Mhm.
haven't been able to finish the recordings. But I'm still committed to getting it done, hook by hook or by crook, at some point. I was thinking of maybe doing a VA Let's Play of Final Fantasy VI or of Chrono Trigger, for example, because I think
That's
that would
awesome.
be like really
Oh my
fresh.
goodness. Yeah,
Let
that's
me
awesome.
recover from this first and see if I can pull that off. I have to finish this project before I move on to other projects.
Mhm.
But I feel like if there is a way for you to play some of the older games and do something of a fresh spin to it, that might that might help, because that's what I did with Earthbound. I don't know. It's just a suggestion. If you can come up with something like, for example, it's sort of what I like how what I do when I play games that I've already played before when they're not blind. Because me as a viewer, I prefer watching blind Let's Plays, and so. But sometimes I want to play a game that I want to share my experience playing with my viewers, even though I've played it already. But I pick games that I feel like I can commentate and talk about and analyze with. Heavy Rain's a good example. I wanted to play Heavy Rain because I had a lot of thoughts on the game and a lot of thoughts on the plot and the characters and what was going on. And I hoped that for the people who cared to watch it, knowing that it's not a blind Let's Play, that they would still find some of the things that I was talking about throughout the game interesting. I'm probably going to play Mass Effect 1 and 2 again.
Awesome.
And bridge the gap and actually tell the full story of Clive Shepard in preparation to the next Mass Effect game. And I'm trying to figure out some ways to make that fresh. And I have some ideas, but I don't want to give it away right now.
Yeah, it's like keep those in the pocket and
keep those in the pocket. So those are just some suggestions. And you seem like a creative guy, Jace, like a really creative guy. So I do not want to discourage you from playing those older, more retro games, but I do challenge you to maybe come up with something that would provide that would put a different spin on it that might make people a little bit interested in watching it if they don't normally watch it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I appreciate that, because I already have some old games in mind that I would just love to go back and do something fresh with. Probably one of them, the first game I ever fully played and finished, Final Fantasy IX. And I would love to go back and check that out again. And oh my goodness, what is it, like 12, 13, 14 years later? That'd be interesting. So I appreciate that. Yep, something I'm definitely keep in mind.
Jason, you kind of mentioned a little bit with the Final Fantasy, with the Final Fantasy VII game, but are there other games that you have played that affected you deeply, personally affected you deeply, just out of curiosity?
I have a multitude, but I want to pick something that's maybe not so. Well, for example, it's extremely popular, obviously, but The Last of Us. When I first played that, like, no spoilers, obviously, just
right, no spoilers.
But right at the get-go, through that opening and whatever happens during the opening, brought me to tears. I was in tears, and it was like uncontrollable sobbing, and I don't even know how that affected me. I was like, this is just a video game. Like, how can I let myself get taken so aback by this that it brought me to literally man tears, and seeing that story play out, it like wowed me. That was that love of story again that just made me go wow. And personally for me, the relationship between Joel and
Ellie,
it was just amazing. I was like, no movie could top this right now. No other game story could top this right now. And that relationship was something that anyone wanted with someone significant. It could be your child, it can be your significant other. It was just this bond that I was like, wow, like I can't believe they can convey this.
Yeah.
Just through a video game, just through pixelated moving objects. It really did wow me.
No, and they actually are coming out with a Last of Us movie.
Yeah, I heard about that.
They are coming out with a film, so
that's a big shoe to fill. I'm scared. I'm like,
that is a big, yeah.
I'm
I'm curious to find out if they do it justice. Like if they're going to try to, how closely they're going to try to stick with the storyline of the game, or if the director / writer is going to have, what's the word? If they're going to have the freedom to interpret it in a different way,
do their own thing with it.
Do their own thing with it, which might upset fans, but I don't know. We'll have to see how it works out. We'll have to see how it works out. Well, while we're on the topic, this is sort of a fun topic, so I'll just throw this out there. Um, what are your feelings in general, Jace, of video games that have turned into movies, or
Oh boy.
movies of video games? What are your
Um,
thoughts on that?
so it's a dangerous area to mess with because
Hmm.
when it goes from a video game that the player invests time and money, blood, sweat, and tears, all that into, and then it goes to the big screen,
Hmm.
it's hard because most games most games aren't going to average out to 2 hours. A
Yeah.
movie has to convey all of that in a
Yeah.
small portion of time. Like a good example is the last video game movie that I saw was and they're actually remaking it again was Hitman. Did you know about
Hmm.
that? They're remaking
I
that
I
again.
I don't know if I've heard about that, but go ahead. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I guess they're doing Hitman again because I guess the
Okay.
original Hitman movie didn't do it justice. I don't know too much about the game, but I know that there's been enough of the game and it's enough of the games in its series that obviously the gamers want it to be the Hitman that they expected. Well, the movie came out and apparently it didn't do well and it flopped, this and that, and
Hmm.
it's it's got to be very disappointing. And if you look at it, there's been a long line of game
Yeah.
movies that haven't really done well. And I don't know if it's because directors or screenwriters are trying to put their own take on it. I just don't think
Yeah.
they know
Artistic
how to do
freedom.
it. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
artistic
artistic
freedom
freedom.
was what I was looking, what I was trying to get was
That's
artistic freedom.
exactly it. It's like they don't know how to convey an entire game or
Well,
someone's playthrough in 2 hours.
what are your I guess what are your thoughts on that? Because there is an argument that could be said, like, okay, this is the way it was in the video game. If I'm going to see a movie about it, it needs to be the same thing.
Yeah.
And the same thing with a book. This is what I read in the book. It pretty be darn close to what it is in the movie.
Hmm.
So there's that argument. But the other argument is, if you really want it to just retell the same thing that happened in the video game, then why don't you just play the video game? Or
Yeah.
if you really
Yeah.
want it to just do like word for word how it did in the book, why don't you just read the book?
Hmm.
Which is, I guess, the argument for artistic freedom. They're like, I want to do something a little bit more fresh, a little bit more different, so that it's not exactly the same thing, so that you have two
Yeah.
distinct things. And so people are like, no, but that's not what I want. So there's that. There's an argument on either side. So what are your thoughts on that?
It's almost like a no-win situation. It's like a lose-lose situation because if you go down the artistic freedom route, you could have an amazingly brand new movie in the Mass Effect universe that has nothing to
Nothing
do
to
with
do.
Shepard or any of the crew,
Right.
but then there's going to be that ladder that wants it to be about the story that they've come to love.
Right.
But then the other half says, well, if they do that and they do it wrong, you lose either way.
Right.
I personally think that if you're going to take a game and make it into a movie, I feel like they should do artistic freedom. Don't try to convey the story that's already been told. Maybe use some elements of it or use the world or whatever you want from it and then make your own movie because you can make an amazing story out of
Is
a universe.
is there a movie that you thought did that well, or at least as close to well as possible?
Um, there, I want to say yes. There was it's a CGI movie. There was the Mass Effect movie that told a story, a little bit
Okay.
of backstory on one of those brain farts again for
Shepard.
nope, not Shepard, with the hair, the cool meat muscle guy, big
Oh,
guy.
James Vega. James
Yes,
Vega.
Vega.
Hmm.
James Vega.
Yes.
I always think of Vegeta. Sorry.
Vegeta. James Vegeta.
Yes, Vega. He had his own story in that, and I thought it
That's
was really
cool.
cool. It had nothing to do with Shepard, but it was a really good movie. I bought it. It's over there on my shelf, and
Awesome.
I was like, "This is great. This is exactly what I want." But then a lot of people were upset that a Mass Effect movie had nothing to do with Shepard, had nothing to do with Garrus, not
Hmm.
the ones they want. But
Hmm.
I just don't think you can do it. You're gonna set yourself up for failure if you want to meet the expectations of,
Hmm.
well, this amazing story was told. Let me just take it and put it on the big screen. No, it's like this, like for the Last of Us movie that's coming out. I don't know too much about it, but I'm wondering now if they're going to go the route of Joel and Ellie, or are they going to take the world, the universe, and do a completely different story? Because there's a lot there. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities that they can use. So I don't know.
Gotcha. Awesome. Well, Jace, I guess for since we're sort of have talked for about an hour now, I want to give you an opportunity to ask any questions that you might have from me.
Oh,
If
that's
there's anything you
awesome.
want to ask me, so I feel like I've been asking you all the questions, so feel
No,
free
you're
to.
fine. So I had my like journal. I was like, I write stuff down. So, do you know what today is?
The day before Valentine's Day.
That's right. It's also Friday the 13th.
That. Oh, you're
So,
right. I just realized
in
that.
honor of Friday the 13th, I was like, let me think of something creative. If you, maybe your viewers will love this. If you were
Okay.
going to do a horror playthrough,
Okay.
what game would it be? That's one of the
Okay.
funner questions.
So if I was to do a horror, okay, I feel like it would be cheating for me to say my actual answer, which is Resident Evil, because I love the Resident Evil series.
Hmm.
But Resident Evil has lately been more action oriented and not as big in the horror.
Hmm.
Um, I definitely am like genuinely interested in playing. I don't want to say do a let's play yet, but it's tempting because it's a co-op. The next Resident Evil Revelations game,
That's
Resident Evil
right.
Revelations 2 is a
Hmm.
co-op, and I'm very interested in playing it, possibly co-oping it with somebody.
Interesting.
Possibly doing a co-op with that. I'm just throwing it out there, Jace.
Just throwing that
Because
out there. I hear you. I
so
hear you.
yeah, so but I kind of wanted to. Part of me kind of wanted to try to play through the
Hmm.
first Resident Evil Revelations first. So I don't know if I were to play the second. I don't know when I would get to it. That's the
Hmm.
only thing.
Yeah.
However, that being said, if I were to play a actual like scary, what I would go into thinking this is going to like jump scare me horribly or whatever. Um, Jeez. I feel like it's a cop out to say Five Nights at Freddy's 3. I feel like that's a cop out because everybody loves.
No, it
But the
can't be.
thing, the thing I like about Five Nights at Freddy's the series, despite the fact that it's the flavor of the month right now, despite the fact
Hmm.
that so many
Yeah.
people is the premise is so unique. I don't know. I find the premise of you know you could have demons and ghosts and slasher people and like all these really freaky looking like ethereal slash supernatural beings in a game,
Hmm.
but the idea that the thing that is pursuing you and trying to kill you are these animatronics that by day are these like the things the little kids like laugh at.
Yep.
It's to me it's a very creative premise.
Hmm.
And even though I didn't LP the first two because I just had zero interest in playing scary games in general, because I was sort of scarred from animatronics as a kid.
Oh
I'll tell a little
no.
bit of a story. Nothing. It wasn't horrible. It's not really that horrible of a story. I mean, all it was I loved Chuck E. Cheese as a kid. I went to Chuck E. Cheese, and I love Chucky. I like the mouse Chucky the mouse, as in when he walked around,
Hmm.
went around, and you could like give him a hug, and he gave you balloons and stuff. That Chucky was fine. I liked him just fine. It was the animatronics version that freaked me out as a kid. And so I had a birthday party. I feel like I was maybe 4 years old.
Hmm.
It was my fourth birthday, I think, at Chuck E. Cheese, and I had a whole bunch of my friends there. Maybe I was in kindergarten. I feel like I had friends from school. I had some friends from school there, and we were eating pizza, and then the animatronics started doing their thing, and I've seen them do their thing before. It wasn't that big of a deal. But then Chucky, the animatronics mouse, started calling my name. He started
Oh
calling my
no.
name and wanted me to get up there. And
Oh
on hindsight,
no.
I think all they were trying to do was to get me up there so they could bring like a cake and like sing
Hmm.
happy birthday. I think that's all they wanted to do. And I would not have it at all. I started crying, like tears spewed out. I was like, my parents were trying to like encourage him because I feel like they told him
Yeah.
about this, and they were trying to do this for me, and they were like trying, no, go up there, and I was like, no, I don't want to. I thought it was gonna eat like the Chucky was like gonna eat me or whatever,
Oh
and
no.
and of course all my friends were fine, like all my friends were not scared of him at all, and so they went up to him and they were waiting for me to get up there, and I felt, looking back on, I felt horrible because the people at Chuck E. Cheese must have been like, what's wrong with this kid? Like we're just trying to wish you a happy birthday. And so
Oh.
I think they brought out, like, I think it ended up not working out the way that they planned, and I think they did end up bringing out the cake. Um, and I think when the real Chucky, the non-robotic Chucky came out,
Yes.
I was like, gave him a hug and like was crying into his chest, like, no, keep him away.
You saved
So
me, right?
he saved me from the imposter, from the mechanical imposter. I don't know. I felt horrible,
Oh.
so because of that experience, I actually still remember that experience, and because for me it was traumatizing as a little kid. So when this game came out, I was like, "That's such a good idea," because I would
Yeah.
be scared stiff, and that would have brought me back to my dark childhood.
It's almost like you're setting yourself up now because they're
exactly.
gonna demand you
So
play it now.
yeah, so it's one of those things that I thought it's so creative, and it actually had legitimately freaked me out when I
Mhm.
was younger, and that's really what it is. It's not because it's so popular, it's because I think the creativity behind it and the lore behind it, there's so
Oh
many
yeah.
theories I've read. Like, one person I would love to get to know, maybe not necessarily do a Let's Hang with, but one person I'd love to interview is the game theorist. Love
Yep.
the game theorist. He seems like such a cool guy, and me being the kind of person who likes to be insightful, I devour his videos, and just listening to some of the stuff that he brought up with Five Nights at Freddy was just so intriguing to me. So
Mm,
those are the reasons why I would play that game, the
that's
third one,
awesome.
because I would be playing it blind if that was the case. So
Oh well, I think you just set yourself up now. Just saying.
I know, I think I did.
That's awesome.
So
So let me think. I also had, I mean, I had so many questions. I'm just gonna be like,
yeah,
blah blah
whatever you
blah. I'm
want,
just gonna throw them at you.
whatever you want, ask me whatever you
So
want.
it's a new year. We're in 2015.
Okay.
We're finally, into the new year. I feel like 2014 took forever. I don't know
Okay.
why.
Yes.
So with Angel Arts, with your channel, what's next? What do you want to do? For instance, you asked me like, what do I have new planned? So what's coming? What's coming their way?
So obviously the RPG tabletop campaign, the Mass Effect one, is coming up.
Mhm.
The Dragon Age Inquisition is ongoing right now. There's just so many videos because I think I
Yeah.
clocked 100 and how many hours? 130 hours, I think, which means if I'm doing 30-minute videos, it's pretty much going to be 260 videos before this thing is over.
Mhm.
Plus the fact that I'm doing replays of it as well and showing highlights of two more Inquisitors who are supposed to be romancing Iron Bull and one romancing Cullen.
Mhm.
So that's going to be ongoing. However, I wanted, because that is going on for months, I'd like to pair that with other Let's Plays. So I just finished The Sims 4, and I'm doing Life is Strange currently as we speak, and I'm also doing the Borderlands and the Game of Thrones Let's
Mhm.
Plays. So the things that are new that's coming up, I bought this on Steam a year and a half ago, and I haven't touched it, and I want to play it. Is Dust and Elysian Tale,
Yes.
because it's a game that I think is different
Mhm.
from the typical RPGs that I've played before. So I kind of want to do something that's a little bit more fresh and different from what I've been playing lately. Um, there have been several people who recommended that I play the Sherlock Mysteries game. I
Mhm.
forgot what it's called. They thought that that was right up my alley because I love mysteries myself. I love mysteries, um, and I think that's probably going to be the immediate thing that's going to be coming
Mhm.
after Dust and Elysian Tale. After that, there's a whole hodgepodge of Let's Plays that I would like to get to. I mentioned the Resident Evil one, and if I felt like I would be committed to playing Resident Evil Revelations 2, then I would probably either play on my own or let's play Resident Evil Revelations 1. So that is, from what I think, let's play wise, is what's gonna be next on my channel. I am planning on showing a few videos of of stuff going on with wedding stuff, because people are like, oh, I want.
Oh,
it's coming
you
up.
have to do that.
Yeah. So I'm probably my fiance and I, we have some things planned that entertainment wise is all I'm gonna say for my wedding, and I will see if what I can do about posting it. It is getting filmed. I'm getting filmed, so I will try to show some of that.
That's awesome.
I kind of wanted to start showing off. That sounds like a horrible thing. I guess more sharing, because people have asked me about it and been curious about it. Sharing some of my personal videos from music theater, because singing is something I love to do. I don't think I'm amazing at it, but I can carry.
I'm sure you are. I'm just saying.
Like,
you can almost tell. I'm a music major myself, so.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Because one of my viewers found me. Somebody else posted a song that I did for Guys and Dolls. It was.
I saw it.
Yep. Oh, you saw it too.
Yep.
Somebody posted that, and it's because somebody else had put it on their channel, and I was like, oh, well, that's a pretty good find. So I thought I would post a couple of those up in case people were curious and seeing.
That's awesome.
Things that I do outside of it. I feel like I really like to share parts of me that are outside of Let's Plays, because I don't want people to think this is all I do, because I have a life outside of this and that take up my time as well, and that's why I can't. People like to ask me why, when I do, for example, an episode on Game of Thrones, why don't I just put all the videos up at once? And it's because I'm trying to pace myself, because I am not the kind of Let's Player that has the time to play, 4 or 5 hours of gaming every single day, and therefore I can, if in order for me to put out a video regularly, like once a day, which I try to do, I have to record a whole bunch, backlog them, which is what I did with Inquisition, because I beat Inquisition 2 months ago, so I can backlog them, and which is good because while I am posting those every day, I can actually do other stuff that I need to take care of. Wedding is a big one that I've been working on, and then of course the Mass Effects RPG stuff I've been working on while I'm posting these videos every single day. So
that's awesome. Yeah, I tried to pace myself as well. I initially was like, oh, I'm gonna do a video every single day, and then I was like, well, this is gonna get exhausting quickly. So I've set myself up with a Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule.
Yes.
And it's like 2 videos Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and every now and then I'll put one on Sunday. That way you just keep a realistic goal, because if you just do a video every single day, you're gonna wear yourself out.
Yeah.
That goes back to the gotta have fun part.
You don't have to. No, you certainly do not have to put up a video every day. I just do it because I have so many hours of Dragon Age.
Yeah.
It's like I kind of have to put one. I have to put one a day. Otherwise, it's going to be Dragon Age 5 before this Dragon Age Inquisition one is done.
Angel Arts did it. He finished Dragon Age Inquisition.
Exactly.
Just in time for the next gen release of the
exactly.
Yeah, so. Totally understandable. But yeah, backlogging is a good idea, because I tend to do that too. I have like a bunch of content on my channel. I mean, this is getting into the YouTube antics, but you have your video manager, and then I have like just 50 of them, or 20 to 30 of them that are private. Like, nope, not ready yet.
Yeah,
give some time. Keep it spaced out.
Exactly.
Which is realistic. That's awesome. I like that. That's the way it should be, because videos every single day. You got to make sure YouTube or gaming Let's Plays isn't work. It's never work.
Yes.
It's fun.
Yes.
It's pleasure.
It is. And I understand that a lot of viewers are like, oh, you ended it on a cliffhanger. Can you please release the next video? I know you have it. Can you please? It's like, I understand. I know that you want me to just show them all at once, but if you could just wait till all of them are up and then just watch them all in succession if you
It's
really
like
want
watching
to.
any good show. It's like, I'll just wait for the show to be done.
That's true. You could wait
and
for
then
the.
I'll
It's like
jump
you wait
in.
for the series to be done. And
That's
and you
awesome.
usually don't have to wait very long. Like within less than a week, all of the episodes should be up. All the videos should be up. So,
Hmm.
but anyway, did you have another question?
Oh yeah, I have.
Okay.
I have like the repertoire. It's like the
All
whole
right.
list of
Well,
it.
whatever you want to ask me, it's fair game. So.
All right, so this is just. I think this is more of my alleyway. Where did you find your inspiration? But besides YouTube, like it maybe not a Let's Player, but a family, friend support, something like that. The outside.
Where did I find inspiration?
Hmm.
That is a good question. So, I feel like I've given this explanation before, so I apologize for the people who have heard me say this a couple times already. But when I first started, when I first decided to do Let's Plays, because I knew that there were already a lot of Let's Players out there,
Hmm.
and that number just keeps growing. There's always going to be a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
Let's Players, I
Hmm.
think. I was trying to come up with. I was trying to think about what exactly can I bring to the table that might be different or might be unique. What are some of the things that I can provide to the Let's Play community that is either not existent or isn't very much representation of?
Hmm.
And I didn't want to do a Let's Play channel with the idea of I'm a gay Let's Player. Like that was
Hmm.
not my intent. My intent was like not, you know, this is a guy who does gay Let's Plays, and yeah, his shtick is he's gay. Like that wasn't my thing because I don't
Yeah.
like in real life. I don't like being the token gay friend. Oh, that's Hark, my gay friend. I don't think any of my friends think of me that way. I
Hmm.
think of me. I'd like to believe that they think of me as Hark, and I just happen to be gay. And so I I guess started doing Let's Plays, and I started with a gay Let's Play because I felt like there weren't really any or very many. If there were at the time, I didn't see any where people Let's played an RPG and played a character that happened to be gay.
Hmm.
Um, and it was just not something that I never really saw or noticed. So I started with a gay Let's Play because I felt like as a gay person, I could give insight while I am playing this gay character, and maybe that might be interesting or might speak to a viewer, regardless of what orientation they are.
Hmm.
And then and hoping that if I ended up getting viewers from it, that indirectly I might help other people who happen to be gay to realize that I guess they're not alone.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
and
awesome.
it's
Yeah.
just been so great. I've gotten so many private messages and comments from people who have confided me and told me about their personal situations dealing with sexuality, not just people who are gay, but also for people who have friends who are gay.
Hmm.
And there was one viewer who wrote me a lovely message, and I did a shout out for him, saying that when he first started watching my channel, he didn't particularly know of anyone that was gay. He
Hmm.
didn't have a problem with gay people, but he admits that he had some preconceived notions of gay people. And after watching my Let's Plays and getting to know me as a person through that, he realized that a lot of his preconceptions were wrong.
Hmm.
And that he sort of, not on purpose, but kind of put homosexuals in a box of some sort. And he just said that it opened his eyes a lot, and it got him to learn more about himself as a person and reassess, I guess, the way he sees other people of other orientations. And that to me was amazing. And that's just an example of what the kind of things that have really inspired me and to continue doing what I'm doing. Kathleen Ims, for example, told me that I inspired her to come out, because when I first started watching her, I was a fan of her, and this is before we started talking. I became a big fan of her, not knowing at all that she was struggling with her sexuality. And then right out of the blue, she sends me an email and says, "Hey, Hark, just wanted to let you know that I'm a lesbian, and I'm thinking about coming out on my channel, but I'm not really sure if I should or how I should go about it." And so she wrote this great email, and I, was talking to her about it, and she said that I helped her a lot in coming out, and that to me just made something like this so meaningful. To not only am I doing something that I enjoy, but through doing something I enjoy, I'm actually legitimately helping people.
That's awesome.
And I love that. It's very rewarding, and it's definitely an experience that I never would have gotten for just random people that are, I guess, are essentially complete strangers. Not really complete strangers, but you know what I'm talking about, that I've never met face to face. It's just interesting just having the ability to affect people in that way, in a positive way, because I think there's so many people out there on the internets that I think affect people in a very negative way.
Yeah,
And
sadly.
sadly, most of the things that people do on the internet are, very damaging and very negative towards other people. So I kind of want to reverse that a little bit and combat that a little bit and try to do something that's more positive and encourage positivity. I mean, that's why I watch my comments like a hawk. If I see someone disrespecting somebody else, I delete them or block them. Even if they attack me, I actually leave their comments most of the time if they're attacking me, because as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't look poorly on me, it looks poorly on them.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
let other people see them for who they are and what they are trying to do behind, the protection of the internet. However, if it's on, if they are disrespecting other people, that's where I intervene and put my foot down. So it's just little things like that that I try to do to try to help keep the internet more of a positive place.
Like recycling.
Yeah, I guess. I guess you could put it
No,
that way.
I'm kidding, but no. In all seriousness, yes. With your channel, with Kathleen's, that was. I mean, I don't want to be like, well, that was the first thing I noticed, but that was something that stuck out to me, and I have a lot of friends who, regardless of sexual orientation, they felt like because of the way they feel about someone, they're going to be judged, and it's got nothing to do with my military career at all. But knowing what people do for other people when they put themselves on the line, those are small things that don't
Yeah.
matter. And hurtful people that are like that, they're just ignorance. You just have to ignore it. And that's what I loved about your channel, and that's what I loved about Kelly's channel. It's like y'all are just, I mean, come on, who didn't love the Let's Hang Out video, first off? And then your channels are inspiring because it's that one person who sent you that message, that's that niche, that's that one individual in that one moment who needed somebody who might have not even known you at all,
Yeah.
just reached out to you. That's so inspiring. That's
But
really the goal.
But to be fair, Jace, I feel like you definitely have the capability to do that yourself as well, if you haven't already.
Thanks.
Because just from the interview, just from this interview alone, you strike me as the kind of individual that I feel people can confide in. That I can see a viewer who may never have commented, for example, in your channel before, just right out of the blue, send you a message and say, "Hey, you know, your videos really have helped me through some very tough times. Your videos have made me smile." I see that happening if it hasn't happened already. And I just feel like you are the kind of person who sort of fits that bill as well, because you strike me as a very positive person. You strike me as someone who I think in general wants to help people and won't hesitate to help people. I mean, heck, you're serving in the military. I mean, that in and of itself, I mean, the service that you're providing to your country and the people in your country, I mean, says it. I mean, I don't. Joining the military was never something that I felt that I could do, or that it just didn't feel like it would be for me. I felt like there are many things that I could do posited in this world, but serving in the military was not something that I felt that I would be able to do well. I felt like my calling. I felt like my calling was somewhere else, and that I feel like I'm doing my calling now. So
That's
more
awesome.
power to you, which is why I have so much respect for people
Thank
in the
you.
military and for people who are serving, because especially for those of you who are volunteering to do it, because
Yeah.
we ask a lot of you guys. What God allows, and it does. It's not just people like in the front lines. It's like whether you're like an engineer or whether you're a doctor or someone else who is in the military. I mean, I used to be a contractor myself, so yeah. I mean, I worked side by side with people in that field too. So more power to you for that.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. That means the world to me. I mean,
Of course.
of course, I look up to you. That's like super obvious. So hearing
Aw.
it from the angel arts, it's like,
Oh, please.
yes, I can go to sleep happy tonight.
Oh,
I
please,
appreciate it.
you're very sweet, Jace.
Thank you.
All right, what else do you got?
Alrighty, so let me see. I think this is it's going back to the whole Friday the 13th things. It's
Okay,
just a little bit
sure.
of fun.
Sure.
I
I might have something. I might have something Friday the 13th to ask you next. So go
Oh,
ahead.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Well, I just had to ask you, what is your favorite scary movie? There has to
Oh
be one.
gosh,
Has to be one. Just
has
one.
to be
Just
one
one.
favorite
one.
scary movie. Ooh.
If it had to be one, it could be anything from, J horror to
Yeah.
ghost stories, anything.
Well, ghost stories. I mean, my favorite ghost story is Ghost, but that's not a scary movie.
That's a great movie though.
It's a
I'll
great
give you
movie.
that.
It's just not a scary movie.
It's just not scary.
And gosh, rest in peace, Patrick Swayze, because I love Patrick Swayze. And Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh yeah.
As well. I loved Whoopi, and I love Whoopi to death. And also, oh gosh, the actress's name, Molly. What's Molly's actress name? She's famous. Why do I not remember her name?
She's so famous.
She's so famous.
I'm brain farting
Anyway, you
too.
guys, yeah, I feel horrible.
Somebody will comment and be like,
Somebody will comment like Angel
duh.
Arts. How could you forget what her name is?
Duh.
It's not Sandra Bullock. No, that wasn't Sandra Bullock.
No.
Anyway, what? Yes, it was a great cast. But anyway, to answer your question, just because of how unique it was, I feel like a lot of people might have the same answer as me. The Sixth Sense. I love The Sixth Sense. The only problem with The Sixth Sense is I called the ending after the first 10 minutes.
You spoiled it for yourself?
I spoiled it for myself because I was watching the movie and I didn't even know that there was a twist at the end. I didn't even know that. It was just, I was just watching the movie, and maybe this is just the writer in me, but something after the first scene. And for those of you who have not seen The Sixth Sense, I'm about to give the spoiler away, so I'm just warning you right now. I was looking at the first, after the first 10 minutes when he gets shot. I was thinking, if I wanted to make a big twist at the end of this movie, I would make it so that, because I knew the premise was this kid could see dead people. I would make it so that, the main character was actually dead the whole time.
That's so cool.
And the kid, is seeing him. And so it spoiled it for me because I was watching with some friends, and while watching the movie, I was telling them, wait, is he actually still alive or is he dead now? Like, I said that out loud, not knowing at all that was the ending, not knowing at all. And then, because I had that in my head, every time he had a scene with his wife, when he had a scene with his wife, I was looking at like, oh my gosh, they're not really talking to each other. Wait, is he actually a ghost? And every single time, all my friends around me saw it too, because I already planted, like Inception.
Yep,
I already
Inception.
planted the seed. And then we reached the end, and everyone was like, wanted to hit me. Because like, Hark, you totally spoiled it for us.
Aw.
Totally. And I'm like, I didn't mean to. Like, I didn't know that was the actual ending. Like, I was just thinking if I was writing this story and I wanted to give it a twist, that's what I would have done. So I called the ending, and
You did.
a lot of people are like, that was like one of the biggest twists in movie history. And I'm like,
Yeah.
Well, I kind of figured it out, so
So that puts you
yay
above
me.
like
So
the,
yay me, I
yeah,
guess.
that is a yay you. That's definitely awesome.
So
That's a good pick too. That was terrifying. That freaked me out.
it did get scary at times, but
Hmm.
I did like, but the movie overall was fantastic.
Hmm.
And Joel Osment, I think that's how you pronounce his name. Joel Osment, I became a big fan, a child star fan of, especially when he started voicing Sora in Kingdom Hearts.
So
That's what I love him about.
exciting.
So anyway, um, how about you? What is your favorite scary movie?
Favorite scary movie? Oof. This one's tough because I love my I love my American movies, but I've started delving into the past couple years. I've gone with like a lot of Japanese and Korean films, and I'd have to say one of the freakiest movies I ever saw was called I believe it's called I Saw the Devil.
Okay.
It's a Japanese movie, and it's not
Mm-hmm.
like the premise isn't like it's a monster or anything like that. The whole premise is basically a man who wants. It's like a revenge flick, and it just totally freaked me out because anything that can come really really close to realism kind of freaks me out. And like if it can happen like that, it can happen outside my door, and it freaked me out. I don't want to give too
Mm.
much away though, just in case you ever watch it. But it is a
Okay.
great
Okay.
movie. It
Okay.
totally freaked me out.
My second runner up for scary movies, I would say, is The Others with Nicole Kidman. I don't know if you saw that
Yes,
one
that's a
because
great
of
movie.
the ending, which I'm not going to give away.
More
That
plot twists.
that I did not see coming. That
Oh,
one
darn it.
surprised me, so I didn't call that one. But it was glorious. The ending of that
Yes.
the movie was glorious. So my Friday the 13th question for you, Jace, is what would you say is your biggest superstition? If you were to have a superstition, or maybe you
Okay.
are actually a little superstitious, but whether or not
I
you
can
are,
be very superstitious.
if you all
So,
right, so what was
as
probably your biggest superstition that you are closest to believing is true? Closest to
okay,
believing.
um, it's probably like extremely tacky, and someone's gonna go, "Are you serious?" But for the longest time, as a
Okay.
child, my parents planted the seed. Inception came back, right? So when you would drive past graveyards, you're to hold your breath.
Okay.
And I still do it to this day. I don't know if it's just like by nature, I just naturally do it, but I still get very ominous about it, especially when going past graveyards, because the whole idea of you could be haunted, and then after seeing everything like poltergeist and everything, it totally freaks me out, and I still do it. I will still hold my
Mm-hmm.
breath, and I'll have someone talking to me, we'll be driving my graveyard, and I'm just sitting there driving like,
Gotcha.
yeah, that still to this day freaks me out.
My superstition, well, my biggest non-superstition is I'm not afraid of the number 13 at all. Like for
Hmm.
me, 13 has sort of actually been a lucky number for me,
There you go.
actually. So I haven't really had any problems with the number 13. So Friday the 13th hasn't been a problem with me. However, the one superstition there, you've heard about the kind of stories where they say don't look in a mirror like in the dark and say something 3 times.
Yep.
Like I know there's like Candyman, Bloody Mary, Beetlejuice, whatever. I'm not as scared of Beetlejuice as much, but
Hmm.
there are things where or don't. There's that superstition where if you say that, then they're gonna come and get you.
Yep.
So I cannot to this day actually force myself to do that. Like if I'm in the bathroom, if I were to put myself in the bathroom right now and I shut out the lights and stare into the mirror and say whatever the name, by after the second name, I would freak out and run out the bathroom. It's like I have nothing to prove. I've got nothing to prove. Not gonna do it.
Yep.
I don't care if people think that I'm some superstitious whatever.
I bet you they won't
Fine.
do it
I'm not.
either.
I can't do it. I cannot do it.
You
So
won't
yeah,
see me do
that's
that. No.
that's probably like I mean in the back of my head I know it's a superstition, but
But is it?
just in case. Yes,
Is
exactly. But
it?
is it? Just in case. Not gonna.
That's
No.
that finger point. The
No.
wait, there's more.
Yes, that's the big.
That's it. But
Maybe.
yeah, I wouldn't.
Maybe. Maybe when I'm like after I reach my 100th birthday, if I live that long,
There you
then
go.
I'll do it and be like, okay, take me now. Like, I'll
At
do
this
it now.
point, right?
At this point, do you if you like at this point probably doesn't even want to come. Doesn't even want to come and get me because like really 100 no. You're
That's
no
awesome.
fun. But
So I also had a funner question because after
okay.
I was like, well, I like music theater. I saw that video. I was like, uh-oh, that was me. I've been in musicals since
Oh, cool.
5th grade. I've been in Annie, Wizard of Oz, South Pacific. I did a play for the
What
producers, Guys and Dolls.
nice. What was your biggest role in any of those shows? The
Um,
biggest role you ever got?
the big one was South Pacific. I played Emil, the
Okay.
gray-haired gentleman in his 40s, and I got to sing all the great songs.
Very
Do my
cool.
serenading. I try, and
Some Enchanted Evening?
yes, some
Yes. Oh,
the end of
nice.
the
That's a
first
good
act.
role.
That was
That's a good
tough.
role.
That was so tough. But yes, I loved
Yeah,
it.
the
And
first
then
act.
I thought to myself, what is Angel Art's favorite musical?
Mm.
I know there's one. There has to be one that you're like, you just went right to it, like right there.
Okay,
You were
okay.
like,
So,
I know.
my favorite musical and favorite musical I've been in are two different things
Hmm.
because one is my favorite experience being in a musical.
Yeah.
So, to answer the favorite experience being in a musical, I would have to say, uh, I did. I was in Hello Dolly,
Awesome.
and I was actually the male lead for Hello Dolly. I was Horace Vandergelder. Now,
Nice.
it's not just because I was the lead. That wasn't it. That wasn't it. Of all of the casts that I've been in a show,
Mhm.
and I've been in a bunch of shows that did a lot of casts, and don't get me wrong, many of the casts that I've been in have been very much like family and very close.
Oh
But
yeah.
I'd have to say this was the cast, in my opinion, that was the most family-like, the closest
Hmm.
one. And it was just the whole experience going through that cast was tight, and just that whole experience being in that show was amazing. And it was one of those casts where it didn't really matter if you were in the chorus or if you were a lead. Like
Hmm.
everybody was pretty much on equal footing, and that's what I loved. Like everybody was treated everybody like, and that doesn't always happen in a show, especially
Yeah.
in a musical. It doesn't always happen. So yeah, I would have to say Hello Dolly because of that. As far as my favorite musical of all time, I have to say Wicked. I have to say Wicked,
Uh,
just because I love the story, I love the costumes, I love the music, I love everything about the the musical. Even though I absolutely despised the book and couldn't even get through like the
yeah.
first few chapters of the book, I didn't like the book at all. But I love the everything, every aspect about that musical. I loved.
So we're
Um,
talking like Kristen Chenoweth and
yeah,
like the
well, I mean,
original.
I unfortunately, okay, so I've seen that musical like
Hmm.
4 or 5 times now, and I would
Nice.
easily watch it 50 more times if I had the money to do that. I love that musical. When I first saw it for the first time, I saw it with Kristen Chenoweth. By that point, Idina had already moved on,
Yeah.
but Kristen Chenoweth was great. I think my favorite of it was when Joey McIntyre
Hmm.
from New Kids on the Block, Joey
Yep.
McIntyre played Fierro, and I'm kicking myself now because I went to see it with my mom, and I part of me so badly wanted to go and get Joey's autograph
Yeah.
afterwards because he was doing that.
Hmm.
But I got shy. I was like, well, I don't want to make my mom wait. I don't want. So I'm kicking
Oh,
myself now because I don't think my mom would have minded if I went to get an autograph from Joey McIntyre. So now I'm like, I could have got his autograph because I
that's
really
so
love
cool.
Joey a lot. So I don't know. Yeah, whatever. It's one of those life regrets, but it's
But
okay.
you have it here though. You always will have
Yes,
it here. You saw Joey
yes,
McIntyre and Kristen Chenoweth. That's awesome.
yeah.
I never
So
even got to see the original cast. I saw my YouTube clips, and then um, they've played
still
the
a great
show
show.
around here, but it's still great. Yeah, I watched the entire thing. Loved every second of it. Good choice. Yeah, that's
Favorite song in
um,
that? What was your favorite song in Wicked?
Defying Gravity.
Defying Gravity. Yeah.
Absolutely, just the
I
power behind it.
Mine, it's actually not Defying Gravity, but it's very close. My favorite one is actually For Good.
Oh
It's
yes.
because Defying Gravity is just amazing and just gives me goosebumps. But For Good it just hits me, and I
Yep.
teared up. There was a time where every single time I heard that song, I cried every single time, and I've heard it enough so I don't tear it up as much, but I still
Mhm.
get a little misty eyed
I
from
think
that
you
song.
would. I think you'd end up crying then at my high school graduation many years back.
Oh, because they did for
We,
good.
I sang for good, and me and
That's awesome.
um, we had our tenor Greg, and then our alto and soprano Andrea and Florine, and we all sang it, and it was a pretty powerful moment. It was our graduation song, and everyone's like, "Oh, what is this?" And I was like, "Y'all don't know. This is amazing." And it was, yeah, great song. That's a
I
really good song.
sense I sense a duet collab,
I was thinking
Jace.
about that. I'm
I
not
sense
gonna
a
lie. I was
duet
like, this
collab.
could be fun. Two, singers. We could make something work. We can make
We'll
something
see.
happen.
We'll see.
Yeah, For Good was a great song.
Love that song.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that was fun. Okay, so I feel like I'm like taking up all your time.
No
Like,
problem. I think we have time for a couple more questions. A couple more
okay.
questions before. So
So,
pick the two ones that you really want to ask, and then you know.
so I know we keep bringing her up, but with you and Kathleen, do you see yourselves doing a collaboration anytime soon? I thought maybe this year is something there could be something that you two want to do together, even if it's a single player game, like something you could do together.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to do a co-collaborative Let's Play with Kathleen. I think that definitely would be a lot of fun. I just feel like we've done so many things together that I kind of want to try to spread my time
Hmm.
with people that I haven't been able to do stuff with lately. You know, people that I have never done a collab with ever.
See, that
Jace,
was the
you
next
know,
question.
because yeah, because I've done stuff with, for example, Lucky Jack, and there's
Hmm.
just I'm trying to make sure that I don't get to the point where I'm only doing stuff with just one or
Yeah.
two or three people. I want to try to jump around and do more collaborative with other different people.
Hmm.
So yes, I would love to, but I want to prioritize collabing with other people first,
Yeah, and
since we
see,
already are doing
that
a lot
was
of stuff
like
together.
that was the next question. I was like, well, see, when you have free time, if Angel Arts has free time, I think Angel Arts and It's Jace have to do something together. I think it
I think I
needs to
definitely think
happen.
I definitely think that we should do something that isn't a long game,
Hmm.
something that we can collab with that is relatively quick, that might take a few hours to beat.
Yep.
Maybe like at most like three sittings, three
Hmm.
sessions. I can see us doing that. So if there's a
Yeah.
game that you think we both would enjoy, that we both can play for three sessions, and even if obviously it'd be great if it's a two-player game, multiplayer game, but even if it's a one-player game and we could co-commentate, I enjoy that too.
Hmm.
If it's a game that you feel like we would be able to discuss a
Yeah.
lot back and forth with.
Absolutely.
So yeah, think about that.
I'm going to
I'm
I'm
open to
going to jump right
suggestions.
on that. Don't worry.
I'm open to suggestions.
Cool.
Actually, have you? This is just I'm just throwing it out there as a suggestion.
Hmm.
You don't have to actually do that. Have you heard of the? I forgot what the person is called because the game is named after him. He's the lawyer. It's like there was all these cases. Something Wright. I don't know something. Wright, I
Phoenix,
think is his
right?
name. Maybe it's Phoenix Wright. He's like has all these cases and you have to like.
Objection.
Is that
That's
what it
Phoenix,
is?
right?
Maybe. I think there's multiple games of his.
No, there's a lot of them. Hmm.
There's a lot of them, and it was a series that I always saw myself like being interested in Let's Playing, but I never got around to them. So I think that playing a game like that, even if it's not multiplayer, would be interesting to discuss and be
That'd
like,
be
so
awesome.
do you think this person is innocent or guilty, and
That would
why
be
do you think this
awesome.
person,
Those are great
or how
games.
what should I ask him? Like what question should I ask him when I interrogate? I think that actually lends itself well to a co-op.
That could be
So
fun. I can definitely see that happening.
and it's not that long of a game. You can do like a case or two or three.
Hmm.
So, just a thought.
Just a thought. Yes, that's
Mhm.
awesome. And then I don't know. It's like thanks. I just want to thank you personally for giving me this time. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Absolutely.
It's like all day I was like, oh my goodness, and let to hang out with Angel Arts for about
Oh,
an hour, 10 minutes, whatever. And I'm so excited, and I'm like, I don't want to go in there and make myself look like a complete idiot. Because then I looked at your Let's Hang, because I was like, okay, I gotta like get myself ready like an audition. So I was watching your
gosh.
Let's Hang playlist, and I'm like, these
There's
people
Riz.
you interviewed, like Riz and Don Forge and then Kathleen. I'm like, these are big YouTubers that I like, and I'm like, then there's me, and I'm like, I don't hold a candle to these amazing YouTubers. So I just wanted to personally thank you for spending a Friday night too, Friday the 13th in particular. You could have done anything else on Friday night. You chose to hang out with It'sJace, and I
Of
really
course.
appreciate that.
No, it's my pleasure, and I've been meaning to do something collaboratively with you since we started communicating,
Mhm.
and I had intended in doing a Let's Hang with you. I guess now it just seemed like the good time as any to
It's
do
the
it.
perfect
So
time.
yeah, so thank you very much
I appreciate it.
for reaching out, and it's great that we were able to get this going.
Yeah.
So
And for your viewers, I think they chose an awesome pick.
oh,
You didn't get to the subscriber amount that you have now by doing anything different, just by being yourself. So you've now set the bar, and I have to just somehow reach the angel arts, heart
no,
the
well,
angels.
I feel like I said, I definitely have seen something very special from you, Jace, and I definitely am rooting for you. Keep doing what you're doing.
I appreciate it.
Um, and again, for those of you out there, if you have ended up really liking Jace as a person, and if you feel that he might be someone that you would be interested in watching, definitely click on his channel. I'll be putting a link below, possibly like some stuff you can link on the video as well. Check him out, and say hi if you can. Tell him I sent you. Say hi to him. See some of his videos. He's got Let's Plays. He's got a few vlogs. I don't know if he's continuing his vlogs again more often. I know that he's kind of looking at monthly, possibly at most. But yeah, check him out. And he is, like I said, he's a rising YouTuber. He's sort of still getting a feel for how everything works, and I'm sure that he appreciates constructive feedback.
Mhm.
So if you're looking at his videos, please, I encourage you to not only provide stuff that you like about what he's doing, but I'm sure that he would appreciate you guys telling him, some ways he can improve, some ways that he can get better. And because I think that he is genuinely trying to reach his potential as far as providing the entertainment and providing the connection, and to be able to relate and find other people that he can relate with and people that can relate with him. I think those are all very great qualities and very good goals, which is why I believe that he's very deserving of more people checking him out. So please do that.
Thank you.
All right. Do you have any other final things before we close up, Jace? I don't want to cut you off.
I'm gonna tell your viewers that I'm gonna be back because I'm gonna like bug the crap out of you, and I'm like, Hart, you gotta let me do something with you, please, please.
Of course.
So I'll be back. I'll return.
Okay. Well, that's great. I'm looking forward to it, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, guys. So that's all we've got. So I guess I will see you guys next time. And until then, love yourselves and love each other.